Welcome to the Art of Hobbiness. I'm Erin, and I'm here with my co-host Tam. We are back to talk more about hobbies.
Yes, hobbies!
Tam has, last time we dropped off, she did not have a hobby picked out, but since we last met, she has tried some new hobbies, and I would love to hear about it, Tam.
Yes, I think I mentioned last time I was kind of like at a hobby blank. Like I didn't know where to go with my next hobby, so I kind of reached out to our listeners to have somebody give me some guidance. Got lots of feedback, but still just kind of felt overwhelmed by options. So actually, I don't know if you know this, but in St. Louis, we actually are very fortunate. We have this place called Bowood. It's a facility that's kind of like multi-dimensional. They've got like a gardening area, and then they also have what they call the studio that has like hobby classes, actually, like gardening and hobby classes. And we were connected with a contact there kind of early on in our podcasting career here. And I've kind of lurked on their website occasionally to kind of figure out like any class I'd want to take. And I stumbled upon, they had a whole session recently on like watercolors.
Oh, nice.
But not just watercolors. They like specific, like there's a goal in mind. Like we're going to paint hummingbirds, or we're going to paint seashells. And I don't know, the seashells spoke out to me. It was just 3 seashells that they wanted you to paint. And actually, if I'm being fully honest, I think the reason why I was interested in the 3 seashells. Have you ever seen Demolition Man?
No.
Okay. It's a Sylvestor Stallone movie from like, I don't know, the 90s, maybe even earlier. And there's a whole joke in there about like he tries to go to the bathroom, but there's no toilet paper. There's just 3 seashells. And they're like, he doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells.
That's what inspired you. I love it.
That inspired me, yes.
So that pulled you in. You saw this
That pulled me in.
Okay.
It was that on top of the fact that I had set up a scenario in which I really good. If we go back to when I did calligraphy, right, which was a total fail in my skill set, I felt like there was still this attraction, or like a bummer that I was feeling, because I really am attracted to like all those really like colorful things, right? Like I feel like I would really enjoy being involved in something that was
artistic.
Yeah, but not just artistic, but like colorful. Okay. Like I feel like I want a skill set and like something that would be brightly colored. I just feel like aesthetically that would just be pleasing to me.
And it just goes with your personality.
Stop it.
Brightly colored and bold.
You're so good to me. So I was like, I feel like I keep like, I feel that calligraphy is lurking in my mind as like okay, like that was a fail, but like how do I still find something there? So I was like, watercolors, 3 seashells, Demolition Man, I'm doing it.
Wow. So I have heard of Bowood. That sounds awesome. I've never taken a class there myself. So you just went on their website and kind of was looking through their list of things, and this just popped out, and you're like, okay, I want to try this.
Yeah.
So you have no watercolor experience in the past?
None.
Okay.
I mean, other than like those sets that you could buy at Target that is like,
sure,
like for kids, right? Where you just do that. Like I did that.
Paint by numbers, or paint with water. Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
I did that like, as a grade schooler. So that is the extent of my watercoloring experience.
And do you have experience painting in any other type of paint?
No.
Okay. So you're starting from scratch, which is very awesome.
Yes.
So inspired to just do something artistic that was colorful. And I mean, it sounds like you kind of just really took a leap and put yourself out there.
Yes.
Which is awesome.
Yes.
So
I'm very glad that I decided to do, because in my other hobbies so far, I've tried to do independent learning. Yeah. Like I've tried to just do it on my own by like YouTubing and Pinteresting. This one, I was like, you know what, with me having literally 0 experience, I felt like I needed to have a class experience under my belt, right? And I felt like this would be a good one to go ahead and do that.
Yeah. Well, and it's probably nice to not have to purchase supplies. You don't really know what you need, so it's all provided, and then just that give you the basics of how to get started.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it was really nice to not have to think ahead of time of like all the supplies, do the research for that, because I really didn't do a whole lot of research for it. It was kind of, because as moms, like, and I'm sure you're feeling this too, like, man, I struggle sometimes to find the time to get a hobby in. And, obviously we're trying to do it for, our podcast episodes, but it's still a challenge. Like I struggle to try to make that time available to me. And, you know, we're school starting, you know, so like we're wrapping up the summer, we're leading up to school, and that's already a chaotic time. And then trying to throw in a hobby during that time, it just was tough.
Yeah, no, it sounds like the perfect little packaged hobby to start with. I think I would really like that too.
Yeah. I think you should try it. So the class was great. The teacher there, her name was Caitlin Allen. She was wonderful. She was incredibly supportive. I don't know what I thought a teacher of a hobby class would be like. I don't know why.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Right? Like, I guess I was expecting like a lot of like structure and like you're gonna be like but like there was structure, but like in a good way. Like she was like, here's your tools. Here's like, let's do like, we did like a test picture, and then we did the real picture, right? And so one thing that always kind of kept me from doing photography or watercolors is the fact that like I don't believe I know how to draw in any way.
Yeah.
But the paper that you can use for watercolors, she showed us that like you can trace. So you put it up against a light or like a window. I put mine up against a window so I could trace the picture. Boom.
Yeah.
Suddenly I'm an artist. I was like, that's awesome. Got my 3 seashells. And then, you know, the first one, she kind of walked with us. Like, here's how you can mix these colors. And, like, here's what these colors look like. And she kind of had us, like, do a couple of strokes on, like, a tester for the tester page, Erin. And,
how long was this class?
it was 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, it was awesome. So it was like an hour for like her to kind of walk you through the supplies that you have and like work on the test picture, and then an hour for you to kind of work on the actual finished product, which that and alone. So the test project, I was like so nervous, but like was really just being like, I'm just going to go with it. I'm just going to be lighthearted. This is just the test one. This isn't the final product. So I go through the test one. I'm like, this is awesome. Like, turned out really, really great.
Oh, that's great.
Sure. And like, then I get to the finished one, and like, then I was like pressure on myself. Like, oh, this one's got to be perfect because this is the finished product. And I was like, I found myself not enjoying the finished product one because I was so hard on myself to like do it all right. And then I got so like cocky with the water of putting the water on the page that I tried to just trying to get like crazy with this color, and I put so much water on the page that it bled into like an entire portion of my picture. But she showed me this really cool thing where like you can actually almost kind of erase what you did in watercolors, which again, thankfully I took a class because if I tried to do this on my own, I'd been like, failure, flip the table. Like, what was I thinking? You could just put more water on it and then take a napkin.
Like dilute the color?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Place the napkin on it, sucks up the color.
No
boom.
way.
You just erase your major error.
Especially for like perfectionists.
Yes. And Caitlin was fantastic because like she would walk around and she was just very supportive. Like her energy was great. It was almost kind of meditative. Like she has a very zen tone to her.
Yeah.
So like when she was walking around, like I felt like it kept it kind of zone, and like I could feel that there were other class participants who were feeling a little stressed, kind of like what I was, but they were just more vocal about like how they were doing. And she was so great about just keeping a very like zen tone, bringing people down. I kind of like, you know, I kind of learned in my bird watching experience that I really liked community, and I kind of wanted to pull that back into more future hobbies. Having a class kind of kept that community theme going, which I liked. And then having a teacher educate me on watercoloring, I thought that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. So did you end up talking with any of the other participants, or how many people were in the class?
So there was probably, I think there was probably like 15 of us in the class, and they were all ages, all genders. Like there was no stereotype whatsoever, which was really great because I felt like she did have us like talk to the class at the beginning and say like why we're all here. Interestingly enough, most people really just like seashells and just wanted some seashell art in their life. I did not tell them about Demolition Man.
Like, I'm not ready for that yet.
I did not bring that up.
We're all about vulnerability, Tam.
Yeah, nope. I got there and I was like, crap. What am I going to say? So what I said was, I don't have a hobby and I'm looking for a hobby. So she was like, oh no. So are we're being on trial here. I was like, you are on trial here. So this is let me know whether or not I could do this.
Well, that's great. It sounds like, since there was such a wide range of people that it took off a little of the pressure. I really like that idea of the, having the tester page. Maybe all of our hobbies need to be tester pages and not the final product, you know?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Because I feel like when I did the tester page, I feel like there was like a free, like, I just enjoyed that process more because I wasn't putting all that pressure on myself. And, sometimes our perfectionism as parents and moms and women just gets in the way.
Definitely.
And when I find myself looking at like the perfection page as kind of like a negative portion because I'm like, oh, that's where I got in my way of just letting loose and being creative. Like I still struggle, even this far in our journey, I still struggle with just letting loose and just enjoying the process. And I really thought that I would be like significantly better by that with like, I mean, how far are we in this now? And I think it's just important for both you and I and anybody who's doing this journey and trying hobbies with us to just like remember that there's no set timeline as far as like when you conquer skills or overcome challenges
or how much
in your
you
skill
really
set.
need to do. I absolutely
And so like
my husband always has this little phrase, and I try to always remember it. It says, "Don't let perfect be the enemy of good." And it's my little mantra.
Perfect be the enemy of good. I'm gonna write that down. Thanks, Adam.
Because I think that happens to me a lot, is that I end up ruining things because I'm trying to make them perfect, or the experiences.
For sure. And I feel like sometimes like I even like struggle because it's not even just in the moment, like leading up to the class, Erin, I was so nervous to go to the class. Like I felt like I was going to the first day of school because it was just like, oh my God, I have to be creative with people around me. And like, am I going to have to show them my finished product, which I did have to show them my finished product at the end. And I was like,
but then how did you feel at the end when were you?
I mean, I felt good, honestly.
Would you do it again?
Now I would do it again.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm very much looking forward to going back and taking more classes. Nice. They have, I want to take another class with Caitlin in the very near future, but they also have other artists and hobbyists that come through there that I think I would really love to just try out other people.
Yeah, it sounds like a really cool place.
It is. It's really neat. And it's got a very, like I said, it's just a very zen feeling. It's a very bright room. It's really pretty. If anyone's in the local area, I highly recommend going and trying to take a class at the studio. It's wonderful.
And they have a restaurant too. And
they do.
Like a garden center, right?
It's a really incredible place.
Has it inspired you to either keep going with watercolors at home or try other painting at home?
I do think I'm going to try watercolors some more. Do I think it's the medium that like I want to like stick with and like keep going with? Probably not. I like the idea that I've got that skill set now in the background. I see myself more using it alongside of another medium. I don't know what that medium could be.
It's just opening your brain to something else, other possibilities. But then also makes me think about what we talked about. Now you have that little tidbit of information for when you're talking to someone else. You can share that little bit of knowledge if you find that someone else likes watercolor
Absolutely.
painting, right?
I can make friends now with watercolor people. Watercolor people, find me. Let's be friends.
That's so cool. Have you done anything else outside the class? Was like, looked at YouTube videos or read anything, educate yourself any further on it? Have you?
Yeah. I mean, I've got, we have our Pinterest page where we do a lot of like our collaging to kind of brainstorm on some hobbies. So obviously pulled some stuff there where I could find more, because obviously, like I said, I can't draw. So I was looking for like pictures that like I can pull and then trace to be able to paint.
Yeah.
But again, going back to like, you can just buy like those little like really cheap watercolor sets for kids.
Yes.
It made me kind of want to get more into that with the girls and kind of bring that in, because that's also really easy cleanup. My girls love to paint, and man, do I hate
I know the
prepping.
acrylic paint and everything.
Yes,
so
for acrylic paint for the girls. So like getting watercolor out is so easy, so quick, and like now that like I can get like interesting pictures out there, and not like, I guess before I just thought it was kind of like, I mean, you can do like free for all, like right, like you can just like kind of color from scratch or from your mind. But it was nice to kind of be like, oh, I can print out a coloring page for the girls and then have them watercolor that. And I don't know why I just never thought of that.
Yeah.
It's because I'm not creative.
Right.
I'm trying to be.
You're getting it. You're getting there.
But I wasn't a creative thinker in the artistry realm, so that really helped with that.
Yeah, I can relate to that for sure. Well, overall, how would you rate on a 1 to 5 scale this watercolor hobby?
Oh, I liked watercolor hobby. I would give it a 4. And the only reason why I'm not giving it a 5 is because of the fact that I didn't feel like I locked in and like want this one to be like my hobby forever.
Yeah.
Which maybe isn't fair of watercoloring. For anybody who watercolors out there, it's not me knocking it. I think it is a wonderful, like really brightly colored medium, which I thought was so awesome. But yeah, I'd probably give it a 4 for myself.
So definitely, some social interaction with going to class.
Yeah.
So that's pretty high.
Yep.
And then you developed some new skills.
Yes,
with it. It sounds like you enjoyed the overall experience.
I did.
And it engaged you, right?
Yep.
And then stress relief. You sound like it was it was a little bit stressful just because of the perfectionism. However, the actual class overall was not stressful.
No, and I like going to a class itself is stressful just because, like I talk about how like I struggle with making friends and also like I was kind of afraid of like failing in front of people.
I think we can all relate to that.
Yeah. So I feel like watercolor kind of had like a disadvantage from me because of the fact that it was the first one that I decided to do in like a class setting and having that anxiety. But like I said, Caitlin was really great at just like kind of toning everything just like down to neutral and like kind of keeping it cool. And even the setting in the studio is very just like zen. So I calmed down very instantly. I thought it was a really stress-free, and once I learned how to erase major errors, 2 thumbs way up.
That sounds amazing. Well, it sounds like she was a great teacher, and I feel like when I have those experiences, it's just kind of like getting social anxiety before anything, and then once you get there, it's okay, right?
Absolutely.
And then the more you do that, hopefully that goes away.
Yeah, I agree.
I would definitely be interested in taking some classes like that in the future too.
Absolutely, you have to. I'm definitely
inspired me, Tam.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so I'm going to get on their website and check out what else they have.
For sure.
So, yeah. Well, thanks for sharing watercolors. Was there anything else about it you wanted to share with us today? Or do you have any plans for your next hobby?
Oh, I do. Okay, so my next hobby. So as we keep going through trying to discover more hobbies, one thing that I feel like I never classified as a hobby before that maybe I'm starting to kind of have a mindset change on is sports.
Oh.
I never considered sports a hobby before.
Yes.
But as our definition of what a hobby is continues to grow, I feel like I am seeing sports as potentially falling in that realm.
I think it's definitely a hobby, and I would love to see you be athletic.
Because I have no athletic ability whatsoever.
What sport?
Well, and the Olympics kind of, was watching on that,
inspiring.
so I was like, okay, yeah, I want to be a summer athlete. I can do this. So, Erin, I'm going to try skateboarding.
No way. Wow. Gonna get in your emo phase,
Tam. Gonna get my punk music going.
I like it.
So, I'm in the market. If you happen to know anybody who's got an old skateboard lying around, need a helmet.
I'll keep my eye out.
I need some shoulder pads. Shoulder pads. That's wrong sport. I don't even know. How does one sport? So yes, that's my next hobby. I'm going to try skateboarding.
Cool. I look forward to hearing about that.
A little beat up.
Definitely get some video on that, please.
Too terrible.
I really look forward to hearing about that. So thank you for sharing watercolors, and we look forward to the next hobby of skateboarding.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us today on The Art of Hobbiness with me and Tam. We look forward to chatting with you more in the future, all about hobbies.
Yes.
All right. Bye.
Thanks for listening to The Art of Hobbiness. Be sure to leave a review and rating. And for a little extra Erin and Tam fun, be sure to follow us on Instagram and Pinterest for behind-the-scenes footage of our journey to find hobbiness.